Hi, Harry. Nice to see you.
Hi. I am ready for another portion of interesting information about objects. What are we going to talk about this time?
Harry, today we're diving into something special. Think of it as discovering secret hallways inside our magical boxes.
Wait, you mean like hidden rooms?
Exactly. You already know an object is like a magical box that stores everything about a thing, its traits and actions. But what if inside that box there were other boxes?
Whoa. So, a box inside a box?
Yes, that's what we call a nested object. Imagine your cat, Nick. We've already described him. Fluffy, sleepy, green eyes. But what if we wanted to store more details about his owner?
Like Sophie.
Yes, instead of just writing owner. Sophie. We give the owner her own magical box inside Nick's box. This box holds her name, her age, maybe her phone number, whatever we need.
So inside Nick's box, we pack another box labeled owner, and that box has its own stuff?
Perfect. It's like a folder on your computer that has more folders inside, each with their own files. That's nesting.
All right, I'm following. So, how do I get inside that inner box?
Just like before, using dots. One to step into Nick's box, another to open the owner box, another to find name.
So I just keep walking along the dots?
Yes, think of each as a tiny key. You start with Nick, then the owner, then the name, and tada, you get Sophie.
Okay, so far so good. But what if something's missing?
Aha, the twist. Let's say Nick doesn't have an owner yet. If you try to go straight to that owner, that name, JavaScript will trip. It'll shout, type error, cannot read property name of undefined.
Oh no, it panics.
Exactly. It's like opening a box that isn't there, and try and peek inside it anyway.
So what do I do? Tiptoe.
Close. JavaScript gives us a polite little helper, the optional chaining operator.
That sounds fancy.
It's a question mark, but not just any question mark. You put before the dot when you're unsure. So instead of walking blindly into every box, you ask, hey, does this box even exist before I open it?
So instead of just dot, it's question mark dot?
Exactly. Like Nick, owner, name. Now, if owner exists, we get Sophie. But if owner is missing, no error, just a calm undefined.
Oh, it quietly says no info instead of throwing a tantrum?
Right. It's like asking nicely, if this path exists, show me what's there. If not, no worries.
That's kind of beautiful.
Haha, yes. Optional chaining is one of those features that makes your code feel smart and gentle at the same time.
So if I ever worry that something might be missing, I just slip in a question mark?
Exactly. It's like using a flashlight in a dark maze. You check before turning the next corner.
And this only works for objects?
It works on nested properties and even methods. But let's not rush. First, master the idea of checking paths. Nested paths, optional paths. It's all part of the same adventure.
I like that. JavaScript is like a forest, but we're learning to read the map.
Beautifully said, Harry. And the more paths you know, the fewer surprises you'll face.
All right. So I'll use dots to go deeper, but add question marks when I'm unsure.
You've got it. That's the magic of clean, safe navigation in JavaScript. Now, Harry, let's imagine you're exploring one of those magical boxes, and you're not sure what you'll find inside. You know it might contain another box, or it might just be empty.
So I'm just poking around in the dark?
Exactly. That's where optional chaining becomes your flashlight. You don't just barge into unknown corners. You gently check before opening each door, one little question mark at a time.
So, if I want to see the city of my cat's owner's address, I would say nick?owner?address?city?.
Spot on. And if any of those in-between parts are missing, the name, the address, the city, JavaScript doesn't panic. It just shrugs and says, sorry, nothing here.
That's honestly really polite for a language.
Haha, JavaScript has its moments. And here's the beauty. You can go as deep as you need. Just imagine, a cat has an owner. The owner has an address. The address has a street. The street has a number.
Whoa, that's like opening a box that opens into another box, and then another, like magical nesting dolls.
Exactly. That's why we need optional chaining. It helps us explore without tripping over missing boxes.
Okay, so we use dots to move forward and question marks to walk carefully?
Yes, that's your rule of thumb. Dot to go in, question mark, dot to peek in gently.
And what if I want to do something, not just get information?
Great question. Optional chaining also works with actions, or as we call them, methods. For example, if Nick has a method called purr, but we're not sure if it's there, we say, Nick, purr.
Wait, the question mark goes before the dot, even with parentheses?
Correct. It checks if the method exists before it tries to run it. So if purr is missing, JavaScript stays calm.
That's really cool. No more breaking the code just because a cat doesn't purr.
Haha, yes. And here's something else. Optional chaining only checks. It doesn't fix or replace. If something's missing, it quietly returns undefined, which simply means, I couldn't find that.
So it's not wrong. It's just not there.
Exactly. And sometimes, not there is all the answer you need, especially when dealing with real-world data, where things might be incomplete.
Like when you load user profiles and some people didn't add their phone number.
Perfect example. Instead of crashing, your app just says phone, not listed, and keeps going.
That makes sense. It's like checking someone's backpack. If there's no sandwich inside, you don't throw the whole bag. You just go, okay, no lunch.
Exactly. And that calmness, that graceful behavior, is what makes your code more reliable.
So optional chaining helps us avoid surprises?
Right. It helps your app stay strong, even when data is weak. Because let's be honest, not everything in the world is tidy or complete.
Especially not in a box filled with magical cats and invisible owners.
Haha, exactly. That's why we use question marks as gentle explorers, not warriors barging into unknowns.
I love that. Optional chaining isn't just code. It's a way of thinking.
It is a mindset that says, it's okay if something's missing. Let's just check, stay calm, and carry on.
So to sum up, dot is direct. Question mark dot is careful.
Perfect summary, Harry.
And it works with both properties and methods.
Yes, if you're unsure whether something exists, wrap it in a question mark and move forward.
This makes me feel more confident. I can explore any object without fear of messing everything up.
And that's the magic. When you code with care, your programs become smarter and much more forgiving. All right, Harry. Now that you've tiptoed through boxes with question marks and explored safe paths, it's time to take one more step into the world of nested structures.
Oh wow, there's more. I thought we'd already gone pretty deep.
We've gone deep, yes, but JavaScript is like a forest. Sometimes you find not just boxes inside boxes, but entire maps hidden inside a single label.
You mean, like more than one layer of nesting?
Exactly. Let's say you have a user, and inside the user there's an address. Inside the address there's a building. Inside the building, a list of apartments. Each of them might have their own info, number, floor, tenant.
That's wild. So we're talking about like boxes inside folders, inside shelves, inside rooms?
Perfect image. And when things get that deep, it becomes super important to stay calm, stay clear, and always check as you go.
So I use optional chaining, like little checkpoints between each level?
Exactly. Each time you go deeper, you ask, is this still here? And only if the answer is yes, you keep walking.
Kinda like knocking on each door before opening it.
Right. Otherwise, you might fall into the void, and no one wants a screaming error breaking their app.
Definitely not. But tell me, is there such a thing as going too deep?
Yes and no. JavaScript can handle deep objects, but as a developer, you have to ask yourself, is it still readable? Still clear?
So even if it works, it might not be a good idea.
Exactly. Deep nesting is powerful, but it should serve clarity. Sometimes, it's better to simplify, break big objects into smaller ones, or rethink the structure.
That makes sense. So optional chaining helps explore safely, but good structure helps avoid the mess.
Perfect summary. Clean design is like good packing. The right boxes inside the right boxes. Nothing crammed, nothing forgotten.
Okay, but let's say I'm building something real, like a profile page. The user has an address. The address has a zip code. What happens if the zip code is missing?
Good example. Without optional chaining, your app might crash. With it, you simply say, "Is this here? No? Okay, I'll skip it."
So users won't see an error, just an empty space?
Exactly. That's graceful behavior. And it makes your app look professional and kind.
JavaScript, kind? Never thought I'd say that.
Haha, it can be if you use the right tools. And optional chaining is one of the most elegant tools we have.
So it's not just about safety, it's about experience.
Yes, user experience, developer experience. Clean, thoughtful logic makes everything better.
Wow. I used to think programming was about strict rules, but it's more like good manners and clever design.
Absolutely. JavaScript gives you power, but it's your job to use it wisely and kindly.
So in the end, optional chaining is more than just syntax. It's a way of saying, I care if this works smoothly.
Exactly. It's the soft touch in a world of hard logic.
Thanks, James. I feel like I'm not just learning code. I'm learning how to think clearly.
That's the real magic, Harry. And now, you're ready to build safely, deeply, and beautifully.